The squad rolls up, and we meet Barrett, who has a literal gun for an arm, which is a whole aesthetic. He is the leader of this eco-warrior group, Avalanche. Our boy Cloud is just the mercenary they hired, acting all cool and distant like he is not totally invested in this drama. Barrett is giving the new guy the full rundown, basically saying Shinra is sucking the life out of the planet with these giant Mako reactors. Cloud is pretending he does not care, but the tension is palpable. The plan is simple: sneak in, plant a bomb, and get out. Easy, right? The whole crew is yapping about how evil Shinra is, draining the planet dry. It is giving major climate crisis commentary, and Barrett is going off about hearing the planet cry. Cloud just wants to get paid, but you can tell there is more going on behind those glowy Mako eyes of his. They finally reach the reactor core. The sheer scale of this thing is wild, and the green Mako energy is glowing everywhere. Barrett gives Cloud the honor of planting the bomb, trying to see if he is really one of them or just in it for the money. The pressure is on. Of course, it was a trap. A giant scorpion-like robot drops from the ceiling because Shinra has zero chill. The fight is intense, with Cloud having to use lightning magic to overload its systems. This is way more than what he signed up for, and the boss fight is genuinely epic. With the robot defeated, the bomb timer is ticking, and the whole place is collapsing. The escape is pure chaos. Jessie, the tech expert, gets her leg pinned, and Cloud has to play the hero to save her. The adrenaline rush is real as they scramble to get out before it all goes boom. They make it out, but the explosion is way bigger than anyone expected. The team starts questioning if they overdid it, seeing the city burn. It is a heavy moment, realizing the collateral damage of their actions. This is not just a simple mission anymore. It has got real consequences. Barrett tries to rally the troops, giving a big speech about sacrifice and the greater good. He is all in on this cause, but you can see the doubt in the others' faces. This is only the beginning, and things are already getting messy. The weight of their actions is starting to sink in. Cloud gets separated from the group and starts having these wild hallucinations. He sees Sephiroth, the legendary soldier who is supposed to be dead, which is a major red flag. These moments are so trippy and unsettling, hinting at a much deeper, darker backstory for our spiky-haired protagonist. While he is having his crisis, he runs into a flower girl named Aerith. She is super sweet and offers him a flower, a rare sight in the industrial slums. Their meet-cute is interrupted by Shinra goons, and suddenly Cloud has to protect her. The chemistry is instant and absolutely adorable. The escape with Aerith is a whole parkour sequence across the rooftops. Shinra is relentless, but Cloud cuts through them like butter. He is trying to act all tough and detached, but it is obvious he is a little flustered by this cute girl who just entered his life. It is giving major rom-com energy. Cloud finally reunites with the Avalanche crew on a train heading back to the slums. Jessie patched him up, and everyone is relieved to see him. They start talking about weird, robed figures they encountered, which only adds to the mystery. The plot is definitely thickening, and everyone is a little on edge. On the train, Tifa gives Cloud a tour of Midgar from a distance, explaining the stark difference between the upper plate and the slums below. It is a moment of world-building that really hits home, showing the systemic inequality that fuels their rebellion. The pizza in the sky metaphor is iconic. They arrive back in the Sector 7 slums, and Barrett has a heartwarming reunion with his daughter, Marlene. It shows a softer side to the tough-as-nails leader. The home base is a bar called Seventh Heaven, run by Tifa. It is a cozy little hideout for our band of rebels. Tifa sets Cloud up with a place to stay, and they have a heart-to-heart. He is still waiting for his payment, but Avalanche is broke. Tifa suggests he help her with some chores to earn his keep, and it is clear she is just trying to find excuses to keep him around. The next day is all about Cloud getting to know the neighborhood. He meets the quirky landlady, Marl, who gives him the protective grandma speech about not hurting Tifa. It is a slice-of-life moment that makes the slums feel like a real, living community with people who care for each other. Cloud helps Tifa with her water filter business, which is basically an excuse for her to give him a tour of the slums and introduce him to people. It is a way for him to build a reputation as a mercenary. Tifa is playing the long game, trying to reintegrate him into a normal life. To get his name out there, Tifa suggests Cloud join the neighborhood watch. He meets Biggs and Wedge, fellow Avalanche members, who are running it. His first gig is to clear out some monsters from Scrap Boulevard. It is his first step to becoming a local hero instead of just a hired gun. After clearing out the monsters, Cloud has a moment with Tifa. She starts asking about his past and what happened after he left their hometown. He is still being evasive, but the walls are slowly starting to come down. The shared history between them is a huge part of the story. Things get messy when a local guy named Johnny gets picked up by Shinra security. He knows a little too much about Avalanche, so Tifa and Cloud have to rescue him. Cloud goes full-on intimidating ex-soldier, scaring the guards and Johnny into leaving town. Tifa is a little shook by his intensity. After the Johnny incident, Tifa comments on how much Cloud has changed, especially his eyes. He brushes it off as a side effect of the Mako infusion all soldiers get. It is another breadcrumb trail leading to the truth about his identity and past, which is clearly not what it seems. Back at their apartment, Tifa finally gets Cloud to open up a little. He admits that being a soldier was not the heroic dream he imagined, just corporate work for Shinra. They decide to celebrate their reunion by dressing up and hitting the town, a sweet promise for a future night out. Barrett calls a meeting to plan the next reactor bombing, and Tifa is clearly not on board with the escalating violence. She feels trapped, and Cloud gives her some simple advice. If it feels wrong, do not do it. It is a pivotal moment that leads to her pushing back against Barrett's plans. Tifa backs out of the next mission, and Barrett basically fires Cloud, telling him they do not need him anymore. He pays him what he is owed, and just like that, Cloud is a free agent again. The Avalanche cell is fracturing, and the moral complexities of their fight are coming to a head. As Cloud is leaving, Jessie pulls him aside for a secret, off-the-books mission. She wants him to go with her to the upper plate that night. It is a personal matter, and she offers him a down payment to keep it quiet from Barrett and Tifa. The intrigue is dialed up to 11. The mission involves a wild motorcycle chase through the tunnels leading to the upper plate. Jessie, Biggs, and Wedge are all in on it. Shinra forces are in hot pursuit, and Cloud has to fend them off with his sword while riding. It is a high-octane action sequence that is pure cinematic gold. During the chase, they are challenged by a flamboyant biker named Rosh, a fellow soldier with a flair for the dramatic. He is obsessed with finding a worthy rival in Cloud. Their duel on the highway is over the top and completely awesome, adding a new, eccentric character to the mix. They make it to the Sector 7 residential area on the plate where Jessie grew up. It turns out the whole mission is a heist. She needs Cloud to break into her own house and steal her father's Shinra ID card. Her dad is in a Mako-induced coma, a victim of Shinra negligence. While Jessie distracts her mom with a surprise visit, Cloud sneaks into the house. He finds a letter revealing Jessie was once a promising actress at the Gold Saucer. It adds so much depth to her character, showing the dreams she gave up to fight for the planet after what happened to her dad. With the ID card secured, the real plan is revealed. Jessie wants to steal a weaker blasting agent from a Shinra warehouse. She feels guilty about the massive explosion at the first reactor and is trying to mitigate the damage for the next mission. It is a secret operation, even from Barrett. The warehouse infiltration is a huge set piece. Cloud, Biggs, and Wedge create a diversion while Jessie sneaks in. The fight against Shinra security is intense, with the boys providing sniper support from above. The teamwork and banter between them are top tier, making you really care about the squad. The fight escalates, and Ross shows up again for another duel, this time on foot. He is just as extra as before, treating the battle like a grand performance. He's a fun, chaotic rival for Cloud, breaking up the seriousness of the mission with his sheer absurdity. Their dynamic is hilarious. Just as they are about to get overwhelmed, another, more militant Avalanche cell shows up. It is revealed there are factions within the group, and Barrett team is considered too extreme by the old guard. This introduces a new layer of political complexity to the rebellion, showing it is not a unified front. With the new blasting agent secured, the team makes a daring escape from the plate using parachutes. It is a thrilling, beautiful sequence as they glide down towards the slums under the moonlight. The bond between the four of them has never been stronger after this shared secret adventure. Back in the slums, Cloud checks in on Jessie. She invites him over for pizza the next night, and the romantic tension is undeniable. She gives him some new materia as a thank you, and it is a genuinely sweet moment. You really start to root for them, which makes what is coming later even more tragic. Cloud has a late-night conversation with Tifa, who is still worried about him. He mentions a promise he made to her a long time ago, hinting at their shared past. She is glad to have the old Cloud back, even if he is acting strange. Their relationship is the emotional core of the story. The night before the next mission, the bar is attacked by the mysterious Whispers, the ghost-like figures. They seem to be trying to stop them, injuring Jessie in the process. These things are arbiters of fate, and their interference means the team is starting to stray from a predetermined path. With Jessie injured, she is out of the mission. Cloud decides to step up and take her place, demanding a raise from Barrett. Tifa also decides to join, unable to stand by while her friends are in danger. The stakes are higher than ever as the newly formed trio heads out. The mission to Mako Reactor 5 begins with a tense train ride. Security is heightened after the last bombing, and Shinra is on high alert. The atmosphere is thick with paranoia as they try to blend in with the other passengers, knowing they could be discovered at any moment. Their cover is blown, and Shinra initiates a lockdown on the train. The team has to fight their way through several cars while civilians panic around them. Tifa shows her compassionate side, trying to help people escape, even as they are being hunted. It is a chaotic and thrilling escape. Forced to jump from the train, they land in the dark, forgotten tunnels beneath the plate. They have to follow a trail of graffiti left by another Avalanche cell to find their way. The environment is creepy and atmospheric, filled with mutated monsters created by Mako leaks. The vibe is immaculate. Meanwhile, we see the inner workings of Shinra. A ruthless executive named Heidegger is determined to crush Avalanche, viewing them as nothing more than insects. He is preparing a new weapon to deploy against them, showing just how seriously Shinra is taking the threat. The villains are making their move. As they navigate the maintenance tunnels, they run into the Airbuster, Heidegger's new toy. It is a massive, heavily armed robot that they have no hope of defeating head-on. The sense of dread is real as they realize this is what Shinra has waiting for them at the reactor. They discover they have to reroute power from the giant sun lamps that light the slums just to open a gate. It is a somber choice, plunging a section of the city below into darkness. It is another reminder of the sacrifices and hard decisions they have to make in their fight. The journey across the underbelly of the plate is a dizzying, vertigo-inducing climb. They have to navigate catwalks and giant ventilation fans high above the slums. The scale of Midgar is truly breathtaking and terrifying, and the platforming sections are a great change of pace from the combat. They finally reach the reactor, and Biggs is there waiting for them. He secured their entry route. It is a relief to see a friendly face. With Jesse planned for a weaker bomb, they head inside, ready to finish the job. The mood is determined, but a sense of unease hangs in the air. They plant the new bomb, which has a remote detonator this time. But of course, it is another trap. Heidegger appears on screen, broadcasting their infiltration to the entire city. He frames them as terrorists working with a foreign nation, Wutai, turning public opinion against them. Heidegger unveils the Airbuster, their executioner. He has been assembling it on site, and the team realizes they can sabotage it before the fight. They find keycards to divert some of its key components, like its high-powered munitions and AI programming cores, giving them a fighting chance. The sabotage run is a race against time as they fight through Shinra forces to reach the component terminals. Each part they remove makes the upcoming boss fight easier. It is a cool mechanic that makes you feel like you are actively weakening the enemy before the big showdown. They reach the end of the line, where the fully assembled but weakened Airbuster is waiting. The bridge retracts, trapping them. There is no escape. The team gives each other a final pep talk, ready to face the mechanical monster head-on in front of a live, city-wide audience. Before the fight, another Shinra executive, President Shinra himself, addresses them through a hologram. He taunts them, revealing that their actions are playing right into his hands. He is using them to stoke fear and justify a war, showing the true, manipulative nature of the company leadership. The fight with the Airbuster is an epic, multi-stage battle on a narrow bridge. It is a true test of skill, forcing the player to use everything they have learned. The spectacle of it all, knowing the whole city is watching, makes the victory even sweeter when they finally bring it down. The explosion from the Airbuster destroys the bridge, and Cloud falls, plummeting into the darkness of the slums below. Tifa and Barret can only watch in horror. It is a massive cliffhanger moment, leaving his fate completely unknown as the reactor explodes behind them. Cloud survives the fall by crashing through the roof of a church in the Sector 5 slums. He lands in a bed of golden flowers, where he is found by none other than Aerith, the flower girl from before. It is a reunion orchestrated by fate and a pivotal turning point in the story. Their reunion is interrupted by the Turks, Shinra Shadowy Special Operations Unit. A slick, red-headed agent named Reno tries to capture Aerith. Cloud steps in to defend her, leading to a tense fight inside the crumbling church. It is clear Aerith is way more important than she lets on. Aerith and Cloud escape the church through the attic and begin a journey across the rooftops of the Sector 5 slums. Aerith is surprisingly agile and fearless, and their banter is top tier. She officially hires Cloud as her bodyguard, promising him one date as payment. The romance is blooming. From the rooftops, they see the aftermath of the Reactor 5 explosion. It is a somber reminder of the chaos they left behind. Aerith seems to know a lot about soldiers and Shinra, dropping hints about her own mysterious past. Her connection to the planet is becoming more apparent. They make it to Aerith House, a beautiful oasis in the middle of the slums. He meets her adoptive mother, Elmira, who is immediately suspicious of Cloud. It is a peaceful, domestic scene that feels like a breath of fresh air after all the action and danger. Aerith convinces Cloud to stay the night. She ropes him into helping her pick flowers from her garden to deliver to the local orphanage. It is a wholesome, heartwarming sequence that further develops their bond. You can see Cloud's tough exterior starting to crack around her. At the orphanage, they learn some kids have gone missing, lured away by a creepy man in a black robe. Aerith and Cloud go to rescue them, venturing into a dangerous, monster-infested area. It shows Aerith deep compassion and Cloud reluctant heroism. After saving the kids, Aerith asks Cloud about Tifa, sensing she is someone special to him. Cloud gets flustered and cannot quite explain their relationship. It is a classic love triangle setup, but it feels earned and complex. Both relationships have their own unique chemistry. On their way back, they are confronted by Rude, another member of the Turks and Reno partner. He is the strong, silent type and is also trying to capture Aerith. Another fight ensues, with Rude proving to be a formidable opponent. The Turks are persistent, and Aerith is clearly a high-value target. Back at her house, Elmyra reveals the truth about Aerith. She is the last survivor of an ancient mystical race called the Cetra, who could communicate with the planet. Shinra has been hunting her for years, believing she can lead them to a mythical promised land overflowing with Mako. Despite Elmyra warnings, Cloud prepares to leave, but Aerith is waiting for him, insisting on guiding him back to Sector 7. She knows a shortcut through the collapsed expressway, a dangerous and desolate part of the slums. Her adventurous spirit is infectious, and Cloud cannot say no. The journey through the collapsed expressway is a mix of puzzle solving and combat. They have to use old construction equipment to navigate the wreckage. It is a great co-op sequence that highlights their growing partnership. They work incredibly well together, both in and out of battle. They run into a trio of wannabe thugs who try to rob them. It is a moment of comic relief, with the thugs being hilariously incompetent. Cloud and Aerith dispatch them easily, but it is a reminder that the slums are full of dangers beyond just monsters and Shinra. At a scenic overlook, Aerith asks Cloud if he was a soldier first class, the same rank as the first person she ever loved. It is a poignant, vulnerable moment that heavily implies her past connection to Zack Fair, another key figure in Cloud backstory. The layers of mystery just keep building. As they reach the edge of Sector 7, they run into Tifa. She is dressed up and on her way to Wall Market, a notorious entertainment district. She says she is going to see a man named Don Corneo and tells Cloud to go back to the bar. It is super suspicious, and Cloud immediately knows something is wrong. Aerith convinces Cloud they have to follow Tifa. They enter Wall Market, a vibrant, neon-lit city of vice run by the flamboyant and dangerous Don Corneo. The place is overwhelming, a sensory overload of sights and sounds. It is a whole new world compared to the grimy slums they are used to. They learn that Tifa is auditioning to be one of Don Corneo's potential brides. The only way to get into his mansion to save her is for Aerith to also audition. But to get an official recommendation, she needs the approval of one of 3 key figures in Wall Market. Their first stop is Madame M, the owner of a hand massage parlor. She is a shrewd and powerful woman who agrees to help them if Cloud is willing to prove himself. This leads to a hilariously suggestive scene where she gives him a very intense hand massage. The game has no shame. Madame M agrees to sponsor Aerith, but only if Cloud fights in the local Coliseum tournament to pay for a dress. And so begins one of the best side quests in the game. Cloud has to enter an underground fighting ring to win prize money for Aerith makeover, the things he does for his friends. The Corneo Coliseum is a spectacle of violence and entertainment. The announcer is hilarious and the fights are brutal. Johnny, the guy they saved earlier, is also there and gets absolutely wrecked. Cloud and Aerith have to team up to fight their way through the tournament brackets. The tournament is completely rigged. In one match, they have to fight an entire gang of 8 guys at once. But Cloud and Aerith are an unstoppable duo, and they defy the odds, much to the shock of the crowd and the organizers. Their reputation in Wall Market is growing. The final match is against a pair of Shinra robots, proving that the whole tournament is just for Don Corneo amusement. It is a tough fight, but they manage to pull off the victory, becoming the new champions of the Coliseum. The crowd goes absolutely wild for the underdog couple. Just when they think they have won, Don Corneo throws in a surprise final boss, the Hell House. It is a literal, possessed flying house that shoots furniture at them. It is one of the most bizarre and memorable boss fights in gaming history, perfectly capturing the chaotic energy of Wall Market. With their victory secured, Madame M holds up her end of the bargain. She gives Aerith a stunning makeover, transforming her into a beautiful bride candidate. While she is getting ready, Madame M sends Cloud out to do some odd jobs around town, further building his mercenary rep. While waiting, Cloud runs into a very stressed out Johnny, who reveals that Tifa is also in danger. This confirms their fears. At the same time, Aerith has a new idea. If one girl can get in, why not two? She hatches a plan to get Cloud into the audition as well. The only way to get Cloud into the mansion is to disguise him as a woman. This leads them to the Honeybee Inn, an all-inclusive entertainment club run by the fabulous Andrea Roder. He is the final member of the trio whose approval they need, and he has taken a special interest in Cloud. To win Andrea approval, Cloud has to perform in a spectacular dance number on stage. It is an incredible rhythm game sequence set to a banger of a song. Cloud, looking completely out of his element, absolutely crushes it, winning over Andrea and the entire audience. It is iconic. Impressed by his performance, Andrea gives Cloud a full makeover, putting him in a beautiful dress and makeup. The transformation is complete. With recommendations from two of the three big shots, both Cloud and Aerith now have invitations to Don Corneo audition. The heist is on. They make it into the mansion and find Tifa. She reveals her own plan. She was trying to get close to Corneo to find out why he is investigating Avalanche. Now that all three of them are candidates, they decide to work together. Whoever he chooses will pump him for information. Don Corneo makes his choice, and in a hilarious twist, he picks Cloud. He takes Cloud to his bedroom, while Tifa and Aerith are left with his goons. The girls easily take care of themselves, proving they are just as capable as any soldier. The damsel in distress trope is nowhere to be found. The girls rescue Cloud, and they interrogate Corneo together. He confesses that Shinra, through Heidegger, hired him to find Avalanche Base. He reveals Shinra's ultimate plan. They are going to drop the entire Sector 7 plate onto the slums below, crushing everyone to eliminate Avalanche. Corneo springs a trap, dropping them into the sewers below his mansion. It is a disgusting, monster-infested labyrinth. The news about the plate drop is weighing heavily on them, and they have to race against time to get back to Sector 7 and warn everyone. The stakes have never been higher. The journey through the sewers is tense. They debate whether Corneo was telling the truth, unable to believe Shinra would sacrifice so many innocent lives. Aerith seems to know more than she is letting on, adding to the sense of foreboding. The hope that it is all a lie is slowly fading. They navigate the sewer system by manipulating water levels and clearing blockages. It is another great sequence of teamwork, but the mood is somber. The reality of Shinra depravity is setting in, and the mission has shifted from sabotage to a desperate rescue operation. They finally emerge from the sewers into the train graveyard, a spooky, atmospheric junkyard for old trains. It is rumored to be haunted, and the place is filled with ghostly enemies. It is the final obstacle between them and Sector 7, and the clock is ticking. In the graveyard, they are tormented by the ghost of a little girl, leading to some genuinely creepy encounters. They have to fight their way through spectral monsters and solve environmental puzzles using old cranes and train cars. The horror vibes are strong in this section. Tifa has a vision of a younger Aerith being taken away by Shinra, and Cloud sees a haunting image of Marlene talking about the plate falling. The supernatural elements of the graveyard are blurring with their own fears and traumas, creating a surreal and emotional experience. As they get closer to Sector 7, they hear news reports from the upper plate. The Turks are already at the support pillar, preparing to rig it with explosives. The reality of the situation hits them like a truck. This is really happening, and they might be too late to stop it. They finally see it, the Sector 7 support pillar, with Shinra helicopters swarming around it. The sight is devastating. They have to climb the pillar to stop the Turks, but it looks like an impossible task. All they can do is push forward, fueled by desperation and a sliver of hope. The citizens of Sector 7 are in a panic, trying to evacuate. Wedge is there, trying to help people get to safety. Public security forces are blocking the way, creating a bottleneck. It is absolute chaos, and the scale of the impending disaster is horrifying. Barrett and the rest of Avalanche are already fighting on the pillar. The battle is fierce. Cloud, Tifa, and Aerith arrive just in time to see Wedge get thrown from the tower. It is a brutal, heartbreaking moment that underscores the human cost of Shinra actions. As they start their climb, they find a mortally wounded Biggs. In his dying moments, he asks Cloud to look after the kids at the Sector 5 orphanage. It is another gut-wrenching loss, and it fuels their determination to make Shinra pay. The body count is rising fast. Wedge, despite his injuries, steps up to help evacuate citizens. His conversation with Tifa is all about not having regrets and doing everything you can in the moment. It's a powerful scene about finding courage in the face of certain doom, inspiring everyone to keep fighting. The chaos of the evacuation is on full display. People are panicking, fires are spreading, and a helicopter crashes, adding to the destruction. It's a desperate struggle for survival as the citizens of Sector 7 try to escape the collapsing plate, a tragedy orchestrated by Shinra. Aerith finds Marlene hiding in 7th Heaven, just as Tifa asked. She gently convinces the scared little girl to come with her to safety. It's a tender moment amidst the chaos, showing Aerith's kindness and bravery as she takes on the role of protector for Barrett's daughter. Just as Aerith is leading Marlene to safety, Seng and the Turks show up to capture her. They've been hunting her because she's the last of the ancients. Aerith makes a deal to go willingly if they let Marlene go, sacrificing her own freedom to save the child. Cloud reaches Jessie, who is mortally wounded. In her last moments, she talks about her dreams and regrets, making her death even more tragic. She was the one who made the bombs, and she carries that guilt with her, asking Cloud to remember her. It's a truly emotional farewell. Barrett, Cloud, and Tifa finally reach the top of the pillar, but it's too late. They confront Reno and Rude, but the plate separation sequence has already been initiated. The horrifying countdown begins, and there's nothing they can do to stop the catastrophe from unfolding below them. Seng contacts them, revealing that he has Aerith and that Marlene is safe. He taunts Barrett, telling him Aerith is now in Shinra's custody. The news is a devastating blow, as they realize they failed to protect her while also failing to save their home. It's a moment of total defeat. In the aftermath of the plate's fall, the team is broken. Barrett is consumed by guilt and rage, blaming himself for everything. Tifa tries to comfort him, reminding him that Shinra is the one who pulled the trigger. This is a turning point, hardening their resolve for revenge. The new mission is clear: rescue Aerith from Shinra. They decide to head to her home in the Sector 5 slums, where they hope Marlene is safe. Tifa also reveals what she knows about the Ancients, explaining that they could communicate with the planet, which is why Shinra wants Aerith so badly. They find Marlene safe with Aerith's adoptive mother, Elmyra. She tells them the story of how she found Aerith and her real mother escaping a Shinra facility years ago. It's a touching and tragic backstory that explains Aerith's connection to the planet and why she's been hunted her whole life. Elmyra recounts how the Turks tried to take Aerith years ago, claiming her knowledge as an ancient would lead them to the Promised Land. They needed her to come willingly, so they didn't force her. Elmyra begs the team not to go after her, fearing it will only make things worse. The team returns to the ruins of Sector 7, and the scale of the devastation is gut-wrenching. They start helping survivors trapped in the rubble, showing their heroism isn't just about fighting monsters, but also about helping people. The community spirit shines through even in the darkest of times. Back at Elmyra's house, Barrett and the others try to convince her to let them rescue Aerith. Barrett argues that Shinra will never let her go because she's the last ancient. They know the risks, but leaving a friend behind is not an option for this crew. Barrett has a heartfelt goodbye with Marlene before leaving to rescue Aerith. He explains that he has to fight to protect the planet for her future. It's a surprisingly tender moment for the tough guy, showing that his daughter is the real reason he fights so hard. They head back to Wall Market to find a way to get topside to the Shinra building. They hear a news report spinning Shinra's propaganda, blaming Avalanche for the plate collapse and linking them to Wutai. The public is being fed lies, making their fight even harder. They seek help from Leslie, one of Corneo's former employees, who agrees to guide them through the sewers to a secret road topside. He wants revenge on Corneo and sees helping them as a means to an end. It's a classic enemy of my enemy situation, and they'll take any help they can get. Leslie shares his tragic backstory about the woman he loved, who was chosen by Corneo and then disappeared. His quest for revenge is deeply personal, and it adds another layer of emotional weight to their journey. He's not just a guide, he's another victim of the city's corruption. They finally confront Don Corneo again in his sewer hideout. He reveals that Shinra is planning to build a new city, Neo Midgar, and that he was supposed to be a part of it. He's a pathetic, cornered rat, but he still manages to unleash one of his pets on them. Leslie provides them with grappling guns to climb the wreckage of the collapsed plate and reach the Shinra building. It's a one-way trip, and there's no turning back. This moment marks their commitment to the final assault, a desperate, high-stakes climb into the lion's den. As they prepare to climb, Tifa and Barrett have a moment to reflect. Barrett admits he used to think Cloud was just an arrogant jerk, but now sees the good in him. It's a rare moment of vulnerability and camaraderie before they embark on their most dangerous mission yet. The climb up the plate wreckage is insane, a vertical maze of twisted metal and precarious platforms. They have to fight off Shinra security drones and mechs along the way. It's a test of their physical and mental endurance, a literal ascent towards their final confrontation with the enemy. They finally reach the top and get their first clear view of the Shinra building. Barrett wants to go in guns blazing, but Tifa suggests a stealthier approach through the parking garage. It's a debate between brute force and strategy, highlighting the different personalities within the group. Inside Shinra HQ, they find the main elevators are locked down. Tifa has to perform some wild acrobatics, jumping across light fixtures to get to a reception desk and hack the system. She manages to unlock access to the 59th floor, but it's clear this infiltration won't be easy. They are forced to take the emergency stairs, and it's a grueling 59-floor climb. The banter between Barrett and Cloud during the ascent is hilarious, providing some much-needed comic relief during the tedious climb. It's a simple moment that strengthens their bond through shared misery. They're forced to go on a bizarre corporate tour of the Shinra building to get keycard access to higher floors. It's filled with propaganda about the company's history and the miracle of Mako energy. The whole thing is a surreal and ironic experience for the eco-terrorists. The tour includes a dramatic presentation about the ancients and the Promised Land, revealing Shinra's ultimate goal. They plan to find this mythical land of boundless Mako energy and exploit it. This propaganda film only reinforces why they have to stop Shinra at all costs. Cloud devises a plan to spy on the Shinra board meeting by climbing through the air ducts in a bathroom. It's a classic spy movie trope that feels both tense and a little ridiculous. Barrett waits outside while Cloud and Tifa sneak in to gather intel on Hojo. From the vents, they overhear the board meeting. They learn that Hojo is planning to use Aerith for his experiments, even suggesting crossbreeding her with soldier candidates. It's a sickening display of scientific depravity, and they now know they have to get to Aerith before Hojo does. They finally confront Professor Hojo, the mad scientist behind Shinra's darkest experiments. He's an arrogant and creepy villain who sees everyone as a test subject. They force him to lead them to his lab, but not before he unleashes one of his monstrous creations on them. Inside the lab, they find Aerith. Hojo reveals his twisted interest in Cloud, recognizing him from past experiments. Just as things are about to get weird, a mysterious creature in another chamber seems to react to Cloud, causing a distraction that allows the team to regroup. They free another one of Hojo's test subjects, a talking wolf-like creature designated Red 13. He becomes an unlikely ally, joining their cause. He reveals that Hojo is experimenting with Jenova, a mysterious being that seems to be at the center of everything strange happening in Shinra. The team finds themselves in the very room where Aerith and her mother were held captive years ago. Aerith shares memories of her childhood, explaining that her people, the Cetra, were the original caretakers of the planet. She also admits she can't lead Shinra to the Promised Land. Mysterious, ghost-like figures called Whispers appear. Red 13 explains they are arbiters of fate, beings that appear when someone tries to alter destiny's course. This introduces a wild metaphysical element to their fight, suggesting their actions could have cosmic consequences. They get a surprise message from Wedge, who somehow survived the plate collapse and infiltrated the Shinra building. He tells them an avalanche chopper is coming to extract them from the roof. It's a glimmer of hope, giving them a clear escape plan and a renewed sense of urgency. As they make their way to the roof, they encounter a headless creature that appears to be Jenova. It triggers a strange reaction in Cloud, causing him to have visions of Sephiroth. This is the first major clue that Cloud's past and Sephiroth's influence are deeply intertwined. Hojo traps the team in his lab, forcing them to participate in his sick experiments. He separates them and makes them fight his creations to gather combat data. It's a frustrating and demeaning ordeal, but they have to play his game to find a way out. They finally reunite after surviving Hojo's deadly maze. With all of them together again, they are ready to make their final push to the roof. The path is clear, and the extraction chopper is their last hope for escaping the nightmare of the Shinra building. They reach the president's office, only to find him dead, impaled by Sephiroth's sword. Sephiroth himself appears, a chilling and powerful presence. He is clearly the true antagonist, manipulating events from behind the scenes, and his motives are far more terrifying than Shinra's corporate greed. Rufus Shinra, the president's son and heir, arrives by helicopter. He's a cold and calculating new leader who immediately asserts his authority. Cloud stays behind to fight him one-on-one, buying time for the rest of the team to escape to the roof and meet the chopper. While Cloud battles Rufus, the rest of the team has to fight a massive military robot, the Arsenal, on the helipad. It's an epic showdown as they desperately try to survive until Cloud can rejoin them. The escape is turning into an all-out war on the roof of Shinra HQ. They finally escape the Shinra building and begin a high-speed chase on the highway. It's a chaotic and thrilling sequence as they fight off Shinra soldiers and mechs on motorcycles and in a truck. The action is non-stop as they make their final desperate bid for freedom. At the end of the highway, they find themselves at a dead end, surrounded by the Whispers. It seems fate itself is trying to stop them from escaping. Sephiroth appears once more, revealing that he is connected to the planet's destiny and intends to use it for his own ends. The price of freedom is steep. A vision of Zack Fair, another soldier, is shown making his last stand. This vision connects Cloud's past to the present conflict, suggesting that their fight is part of a much larger tragic cycle that they are now trying to break. Aerith explains that crossing through the portal created by the Whispers means defying destiny. It's a point of no return. They will be changing more than just their own fates. They will be altering the very course of the planet's future. The choice they make now will have permanent consequences. They enter the portal and find themselves in a chaotic dimension where they must fight the personification of destiny itself. They battle monstrous versions of the Whispers, each representing a different aspect of fate. It's a symbolic and epic battle for the right to choose their own future. During the fight, they get a glimpse of a possible future, a vision of Red 13 running with his cubs through a desolate landscape, and the tragic death of Aerith. This vision of what is supposed to happen strengthens their resolve to defy fate and create a different tomorrow. After defeating the physical manifestations of destiny, they are confronted by Sephiroth at the edge of creation. He invites Cloud to join him and defy destiny together. It's a tempting but terrifying offer, blurring the lines between hero and villain in this final climactic confrontation. Cloud rejects Sephiroth's offer, and after one final epic battle, they manage to defeat him, for now. With the Whispers gone, destiny is no longer written. They have achieved a boundless, terrifying freedom. The future is now a blank page, and they can write their own story. With the battle over, the team stands outside Midgar, ready for the next chapter. They know Sephiroth is still out there, and their journey is far from over. United by their shared experience, they decide to hunt him down, officially beginning their quest to save the planet on their own terms.